Hello, everyone. Science Viking here, and I'm fighting the Shrieker right now. In case you're wondering how this happened, well, I started up the game, I started up the episode, and I spent the loot from the last mission upgrading some structures and some characters and learning some camping skills, and then I decided to challenge the Shrieker, and then I realized that I hadn't been recording the entire time. So let's just pretend that you saw all that and go for the regular mission. I am going to see if we can kill the Shrieker. It is relatively fragile compared to the damage that these heroes can inflict, but its dodge is really quite high.
A dizzying blow to body and brain.
The main issue with this thing is stress, though. I should have showed you. Not too much, but I don't really need healing right now. And smite. That did pretty good damage. If I could actually make the dodge debuff stick, that would be helpful. Thrown dagger does 7 to 13, pick to the face does 6 to 12. What's poison darts do? 3 to 6. Yeah, thrown dagger wins. The question is, how long does this fight go on before it just gives up? Okay, vulnerability hex hits this time. And since I have the Vial of Sand, I have increased debuff skill chance, so its dodge is only 43 now. For a bandage, and let's go for some wide area healing.
A momentary abatement.
And another bandage, and smite. Okay, we're actually accumulating damage against this thing relatively quickly, but I don't know how long we have before it uses Shrieking Flight and just gets out of here. But its debuff has essentially been reduced to just being normal. Its evasion has been reduced to being basically commensurate with the evasion of a normal enemy. Thrown dagger. Still managed to miss, though. And it's now almost below half health.
Well
and
struck.
Now it's well below half health. Still hasn't used Shrieking Flight yet. Its stun resistance is pretty high, but I was hoping I could potentially stun it. Oh, its dodge is back to normal because debuffs don't last as long against it. Because it gets multiple actions per round. And there it goes, Shrieking Flight.
How quickly the tide turns.
Well, we tried. And the Occultist is afflicted on the last action of the mission.
Their cursed champion falls.
Okay, let's return to the Hamlet. I got the Dissection Kit and the Lioness Warpaint. Good. This mission is, honestly, that's all I needed for this mission to be worth it. Those two trinkets that I lost on dead heroes were incredibly valuable. Having those back is completely worth the cost of this mission. And we have more experience. Okay, Corvid's Appetite. So Holland has been rewarded with plus 100% food consumed. Wonderful.
I was lord of this place before the crows and rats made it their
Stafford some
domain.
stress treatment, and unfortunately, I actually can't afford to give stress treatment to anyone else right now because I spent all the loot. So we're going to need to go on another mission. And yep, things are flickering again. Okay. So the wield is the one I have the least mastery in, so the medium-length wield mission is probably a good choice. Alright. And bringing a flagellant to the wield is almost always a good choice. Let's combine that with a jester, for fundamentally the same reason. And let's see. Incision cannot be used from position 4. No, but if I drop Noxus Blast for Incision... Now, there's really no way to Actually, yes, I have a plan. Let's put the Jester in position 3, or in 2, put a Plague Doctor in position 3, and then let's bring an Occultist in position 4. It's insane, but I think I can make it work. Which is what I always say before something goes horribly wrong. So, well, we all know what's going to happen now. Alright, I'm going to go for the Blood Pact and the Vial of Sand for the Occultist. And trade Sacrificial Stab for Demon's Pull. For the I didn't mean to click on Provision. I'm not sure exactly why I clicked on Provision. Oh, I forgot to unequip all trinkets before. Unequip and sort. And... Right, I still don't have the Plague Doctor's other unique trinket, but I do have the Dissection Kit. And while we're at it, let's add the Bloody Herb. Now I need to re-equip the Occultist quick a second. Drop his gear over to there. And... let's see. The Jester... see, the Tyrant's Tasting Cup is only really good if I'm planning on using him specifically for stress management, which I'm not. So... instead, I'll give him the critical dice, and... no, I may as well give him a worry stone. But the flagellant gets all the flagellant-specific gear. That being the chipped tooth and the shard of glass. And let's make sure everybody has the right abilities equipped. And... okay, onward, into the warrens. Need to increase our mastery level for this area anyway, and I need these heroes to get a bit more experience. There should be plenty of food. I need a couple more medicinal herbs, plenty of anti-venom, and a decent supply of bandages. I don't need that much anti-venom when I have a Plague Doctor. Skeleton keys, a little holy water. Do not forget the shovels, and also don't forget the torches. Those are important. Okay, let's see if we can make a profit on this interaction.
I knew all these paths once. Now they are as twisted as my own ambitions.
This is gonna be a bit of a trip. Actually, I suppose I should call it an adventure. A, painful, terrifying adventure.
The way is lit.
Honestly, I probably
the
shouldn't have
path
gone
is
for
clear.
that yet.
We require only the strength to follow
Really
it.
glad I remembered to bring shovels this time. In hindsight, I probably should have brought more of them. And we found more valuables in the luggage. Unfortunately, I really need to get rid of that negative quirk for Altard. Now, this is actually a good time for Plague. Even though none of the trinkets boosted, it's still a pretty effective ability. Press on the Bloodletter, mainly to reduce the damage, not that it matters that much. And Rain of Sorrows. Accelerate the decay of the enemy's backline. And Slice Off, because I do actually need to kill the Bloodletter. Slice and dice. And of course it is a point blank shot. And of course it's a critical, because it's always a critical here. One more Rain of Sorrows. Okay, that's the end of the back line. Now let's do the same thing to the front line. And weird reconstruction on the This is not an occultist. This is a flagellant. And weird reconstruction on him because his blood needs to be inside his body. I know the flagellant disagrees with you, but we've had this talk. The flagellant is like the other classes. His blood does need to be on the inside of his body. May as well just go for some battlefield.
Just a momentary
the enemy
abatement.
to bleed to death. Enemies are different from allies. They don't need their blood to be on the inside of their body. And weird reconstruction heals for 1. And I may as well finish this guy off with harvest.
Slowly, gently. This is how a life is taken.
And bandage. And we have an heirloom chest.
Wealth beyond measure. Awarded to the brave and the foolhardy alike.
Okay, and onward into the darkness. Gotta inspect all the nothing.
If only
Salvage
treasure could
unburnt
staunch the
nothing.
flow of otherworldly corruption.
We have hunger. May as well open up a Rain of Sorrows. One more Rain of Sorrows and both, or just enough turns and both of the Nashers are gone. But if I use Harvest, I can accomplish nothing. Alright. Sing with Weakening Curse because I really need to reduce the ghoul's damage and protection. Though this team inflicts so much damage over time, I don't even need to worry about protection for the most part. One Nasher that's not going to be a problem anymore. Let's just kill the other one with Punish so
As
that
the
it's
fiend
gone.
falls, a faint hope blossoms.
And I can reach the ghoul with Incision. And Mortimer is just taking no prisoners today. I guess the Plague Doctor needs some specimens.
Precision and power.
Okay, that's the end of this group. And the stress levels are even low. And Howl did nothing because they can tell that the ghoul is going to be done in a few seconds anyway.
A victory. Perhaps the turning point.
I really hope not, considering how well everything has been going. I really don't want this one to turn around just yet. I mean, it will eventually. This is Darkest Dungeon. It's going to turn around somehow. And we may be about to see how. And I already dropped the holy water before encountering a place where I would have been able to use it. Alright, may as well go for Weakening Curse on the Towering Ectoplasm. I need the plasms to all die at the same time. I have an idea of how to make that happen. And it's going to start by causing quite a bit of bleeding all at once. Slice off. Okay. Weakening Curse does 1 to 2. Vulnerability Hex will just do 1. Well, may as well hit it with Weakening Curse and reduce its damage. And Plague Grenade, the ones in the back. And Harvest on these two. Okay, that gets rid of the big one, but it doesn't get rid of the either of the smaller ones. And that gets rid of one of the smaller ones, and the other one is also done. Okay, we got it. Managed to kill all of the ectoplasms over the course of a single turn. That is how we do it.
A trifling victory, but a victory nonetheless.
And I managed to have a curio interaction to reduce the stress of the one hero who had any. This mission is just going entirely too well.
Packs
This is gonna turn
laden with
around
loot
somehow very
are often
soon. I
low
just
on
know it.
supplies.
Well, this could do it. Now we have the collector.
As the light gains purchase, spirits are lifted.
May as well use
Purpose
weakening
is
curse
made
to reduce
clear.
his damage, not that it does much good. And incision. I actually really just should have used, I also have the Jester Pass to take a little bit of stress. Okay, and Rain of Sorrows. And Plague Grenade. And Rain of Sorrows. That was an odd turn order to get. And head games on absolutely the wrong target, though I wouldn't have to deal with Headhunter yet. And Demon's Pull. Into exactly where I wanted. And he didn't use Lifesteal, that's even better. It just keeps getting better. And Slice Off. Like Face Off, but worse. We are going to have to endure Headhunt a little bit. Though one of the collected highwaymen is about to bleed to death anyway. Okay, we really need a big roll for River Users, and we get 3. That's barely enough to overcome the bleeding damage. And he continues to use head games on the wrong target, so there is at least that. I still need to do a little bit more damage, and never mind
As life ebbs, terrible vistas of emptiness reveal themselves.
And I'm actually going to take a bit of a risk. And I'm going to use Punish. And now we just need to wait for the Collector to keel over. Battlefield Medicine to get the Flagellant off of Death's Door. And Slice Off on the collected Man-at-Arms for no real reason. Fortunately, the Jester has really good evasion. To use Slice Off on the Man-at-Arms. And, okay, big roll for Weird Reason. 9! Okay, it's not what I was hoping for, but it's at least better than 3. Alright. And now I can use, Redeem. I just wanted to make sure and end the fight. And now he finally uses head games on the right target when it is completely meaningless.
The rats prepare to feast.
Alright, I'll drop the 100. Actually, I'll consume the 4 extra food to create a space for the trapezohedron. Okay, I'm gonna need to go both of these ways, but we're also getting near the point where we should make camp.
The match is struck. A blazing star is born.
Ah, Nashers, wonderful. And we're severely out of formation. Even more wonderful. The wonders just never cease around here. Oh, fortunately I can get into formation with just one action. Just Demon Pull and Frothing Madman so I can get rid of him quicker. Let's go with Incision here. This is a good chance of a one-shot. And we got the one-shot we wanted. And Harvest. And Failure. It's our old friend Failure come to play.
Press this advantage. Give them no quarter.
And why Demon's Pull? Why not? And Harvest. And Success!
Strike.
I like Success a lot more than Failure. still going to be a slow process. That's really just the downside of this team composition. It takes them a while to kill things. And accusation on the already highly stressed flagellant. Lovely.
The abyss returns even
Punish the Nasher for this infraction. I know the Nasher didn't do anything, punish it anyway.
Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
Move the Jester back.
Confidence surges
And that's
as the
the end of
enemy
the fight.
crumbles.
And we're pretty close to the end of the mission, but I am going to have to do a bit of backtracking. This route will involve less backtracking, so I'm doing this one first. And I may regret not having made camp already. Alright. Go punish on the ghoul. Okay, Rend at least does not cause stress damage, so that's better. And Incision on the ghoul. And Slice Off on the witch will not one-shot, so I just need to hope that she doesn't use Stressful Incantation. Actually, she's bleeding for 4. I would need... Yeah, I can't do enough damage to finish her off with Demon's Pull either. I actually need to hit her with something again. In hindsight, I could have hit her with Demon's Pull twice because of that turn order. The turn orders have just been weird today.
Never hidden.
And, of course, she goes for Stressful Incantation on the Flagellant. And there he goes. He's afflicted. Though Rapturous is kind of a baby affliction.
Sublimity of the intelligence. Or so it has been said.
Well, if it's you that said it, Ancestor, I can't exactly trust it,
may
can
we
I?
find victory.
Okay, that's the end of the ghoul. And that's the end of the cultist. There's the claim on the Jester. Well, let's use it again. There is a plan here. And the plan is battlefield medicine to get rid of the bleeding. Perfect. And let's add weird reconstruction on the Jester just to get the
Compassion
Jester
is a
good
rarity
healing.
in the fevered pitch of battle.
And because apparently the ghoul goes absolutely last, we're just gonna have to kill it ourselves anyway.
Ghoulish horrors. Brought low and driven into the mud.
Okay, this is gonna be a room battle with treasure. And we need another... You know what, I'm actually gonna try to live without this. There's a reason for that, which will make itself clear later. Not a lot that the occultist can do in this situation. And Plague Grenade. And unfortunately it didn't blight the crone like I was hoping it would, even though our blight resistance is only 60%. Alright, Harvest to get rid of one of the Nashes and wound the other. And Rain of Sorrow.
The ground quakes.
Okay, that basically deals with the crone. It's basically just the enemy version of an occultist. And it's all over but the bleeding. So I'm gonna have everyone who can heal.
These nightmarish
firewood.
creatures can be felled. They can be beaten.
Feast. Use unspeakable commune to prevent nighttime ambush. And I may as well actually go with mockery to reduce the flagellant stress a bit. And otherwise, I guess tiger eye on the flagellant. And I guess just a round of pep talks because there's not much else to do. Okay, at least we're not going to have a midnight surprise, but that was not a very successful camping session. Fortunately, we are near the end of the mission.
Glittering gold, trinkets and baubles, paid for in blood.
Okay, and this is going to be one of the rooms that we skip because there's an obstacle here, and there's also an obstacle here, and we only have one shovel. Because I forgot that the wheel does a bunch of curio interactions that require shovels, and so you always bring extra shovels to the wheel. Either way, we're almost out of here, guys. And a respawning ghoul, because, of course, ghoul out of nowhere. These guys are, by the end of this mission, these guys are going to have earned their resolve experience. And I can still reach the ghoul and punish. And I harvest and slice off both, but only hit the ghoul. I'm using slice off.
Compassion
plague
is a
doctor, because
rarity
even if it
in the
inflicts
thief
bleeding,
of
will be
picture of battle.
meaningless. 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 Alright. Punish the crazed Gnasher. Okay, that's one of them done. Weakening curse do a little bit of damage to the other Gnasher. And battlefield medicine to cure 2 bleedings at once. And may as well just have the Jester attack the
Monsters.
Okay, one punish should finish off this Gnasher.
Unless inordinate exsanguination be considered.
And it
a
did.
virtue.
Curse to do even more damage. The Gnasher has to get a turn eventually. There it goes.
Success so clearly in view. Or is it merely a trick of the light?
Okay, we're still okay for torches. We're about to run out of shovels,
Nature
so
herself,
hopefully there
victim
won't
to
be
the
any
spreading
more.
corruption, malformed with misintent.
And we found loot inside the mummified remains. Okay, I believe I can only skip 2 rooms since this is a medium-length mission, not a long mission. Have the Plague Doctor disarm the mushrooms. And use the antivenom on the poisonous sap. Light up our second to last torch. This is going to be a bit of a close one. And we have a Blighted Giant, because of course we have a Blighted Giant. Go ahead and weakly curse the Blighted Giant. And punish the Gnasher for getting in the way. Harvest the other Gnasher, because that way we can also damage the Giant. Okay, get rid of the... Alright, one of the Gnashers is gone, the other is close to gone. Please don't use Confusion Spores, thank you. I mean, Poison Spores ain't great, but it's better than Confusion Spores. And punish.
decisive
big
pummeling.
Yeah, that pummeling was pretty decisive. Let's just focus on the giant to get rid of it quickly. And battlefield medicine to get rid of the light bleeding. Battlefield medicine is a really useful ability. The actual healing numbers are admittedly not amazing, but it is still very helpful. Alright, go for weird reconstruction. And an 11, the best weird reconstruction numbers we've had this episode. And just stick with punish. And add 15. Weird reconstruction is just getting better and better. And all the gesture can do is move back into position. Though conveniently, he has the ability to move just anywhere in one turn. I mean, the jester is just the most move-resistant class.
Prodigious size alone does not dissuade the sharpened blade. Be wary. Triumphant pride precipitates a dizzying fall.
And in order to properly inspect the nothing, we have another thorny thicket, but this time we don't have a
Without tools of
shovel.
iron, you must rely on flesh and indefatigable purpose.
And now we find a map that doesn't tell us anything because we've already scouted the entire area. Well, let's get out of here. Well, we still can. Okay, there is nothing else to find that would be helpful, so let's return to the hamlet.
Every cleared path and charted route reduces the isolation of our troubled estate.
And we did at least have a decent haul, in addition to making an okay haul of heirlooms. And we got some experience, which was actually one of the main goals here. Okay, the flagellant is light sensitive, which reduces his damage when the torchlight is high. That's not as big of an issue as it could be, because most of his damage is dealt as damage over time.
In time, you will know the tragic extent of my failings.
Let's see. What to upgrade? Let me see. I need 2 portraits and 6 crests to be able to upgrade the brothel. Okay, we now are down to 0 for all of our heirlooms, but the brothel is fully upgraded. Or is not fully upgraded, but we got another upgrade. Didn't really, okay, let's treat Countess' disease. Okay, gray rot, that could... Plus 20% max HP. I'm still treating it, but that is interesting. Alright. Now let's get some stress treatment. Okay, the only person who absolutely must be treated is Tardif, because he has a affliction. Otherwise, stress gradually dissipates if... Stress gradually dissipates even when heroes aren't receiving direct stress treatment. But we're decently flush for cash. We may as well treat everybody. The Crusader and the Grave Robber get to go drinking together. Everybody else is, I'd say, low enough that they can just warm the bench for a little while to help their stress recover. Right, I already checked. Everybody's pretty much fully upgraded when it comes to regular skills. But let's look into some camping skills. May as well have Encourage. And planned takedown for the bounty hunter is also really good. But now we pretty much have all the money that I'm comfortable spending. Also, let me see something. So, oh, and the Hellion also has a disease that I didn't realize. However, before we go any further, I am going to get us a fresh recording file, so I will be back. Okay, I'm back. Let me see something. Yeah, I have both of the Crimson Court trinkets for the Hellion. Now... Also, does this operation... I just noticed this for the first time. This operation doesn't contain a single man-at-arms. They're all dead, I guess. Anyway, time for a bit more training. So, let's see. I need to bench these people because their stress levels are all too high. What's a team composition that is viable? Let's bring the other flagellant. And then a nice spicy Hellion. And flagellant can't really be in position 3. So in addition to that, let's bring Gale and Roz. This looks like a viable team composition. Equip all trinkets, sort by character class. And I still have the whole Arab list set, too. The Vestal, I only have the Atonement beads. So instead, I'll just give her the Tome for the healing and a Worry Stone. But I do have the complete flagellant set, so I will be using that again. And for the first time, I actually get to use the Lioness Warpaint and the Mark of the Outcast. Which means I get the +7 accuracy and +7 dodge. And it boosts her bleed skill chance and her death blow resistance. Okay, let's do this. Some bandages, a little anti-venom, bring more food. I see you flickering over there. Decent amount of medicinal herbs. I already got bandages and anti-venom. Some holy water, some keys, shovels, and torches. Okay, let's go rack up some experience.
The smell of rotting fish is almost unbearable.
Okay, this is another one that's going to require a fair amount of backtracking, unfortunately. So sniper shot the wide mouth in the back, and that's what I was hoping would happen.
Maintain the offensive.
And punish the one who tried. Okay, can I one-shot with if it bleeds? Not without a critical, I'll just wicked hack it.
As the fiend falls,
That still is 2 of them.
faint hope blossoms.
May as well heal the Hellion even though she takes reduced healing. And sticking with punish. However, this time I'm using it bleeds on the one in the back, and I got my critical. Okay, snipe the last one that isn't about to bleed to death. And there we go.
Destroy them all.
Don't worry, they've all been destroyed. Okay, and our first
Another
destruction.
mariner, another misfortune.
Hopefully this time I brought enough shovels that we won't have to deal with any of those by hand.
A fortune waiting to be spent.
Actually, it's holy water. It's a fortune waiting to be discarded for other loot, really. No idea what to do with this one. Holy water doesn't do anything. How about a torch? Anti-venom? Medicinal herbs? Okay, I give up. And a Nuea Crusher, because of course there is Nuea Crusher. There is always a Nuea Crusher. They are inescapable. It's like my suffering. And nobody has any de-stressing abilities, so there's no way to hit the Oracle. So instead, just lay into the Crusher. Also, an interesting effect of the combination of the Vestal's two abilities is, of the Hellions' two trinkets, is when her health is high, it's smarter to just focus on inflicting bleeding, because her bleed skill chance is increased, but her damage isn't when she has a lot of health. But then as her health gets lower, it becomes better to focus on just inflicting damage. Snipe the Oracle. A little more damage and he's gone. I'll actually let the Vestal handle that. Add to Gale's increasingly impressive kill count. And the bandit decides to go after the Flagellant with Arterial Pinch, and frankly, I don't think he would have minded if that had managed to bleed. And I'll just punish. Reclaim really isn't warranted. Now, for battlefield damage on the Hellion, that could be good. And there's really no reason to do this, but I'm using Adrenaline Rush. And I guess Gale gets to get the kill.
Prodigious size alone does not dissuade the sharpened blade.
Gale collecting 2 additional scalps.
This expedition at least promises success.
And so far, this has been actually pretty uneventful. Which I'm sure the heroes, other than the Hellion, don't mind this one being uneventful. I mean, I'm betting Kuman would like to get some action, but the rest of them, I think they probably don't mind things being fairly boring. Though, I don't know! Looking at Gale's kill count, she probably would prefer for some fighting to happen.
Enemy crumbles.
Okay, the downside to that critical is I now can't hit the Oracle with Rain of Sorrows. I really should have gone for the other bulwarks so that Gale and the Flagellant can both focus on the same
The way
target.
is lit. The path is clear.
If
We
it bleeds,
require only the strength to follow it.
and don't worry, it bleeds. Barnacle Barrier, but that isn't really going to be that meaningless. Sea Breeze, on the other hand, that's a bit of a problem. But everyone in this team can comfortably hit the bulwark in position 2. It's good because we really need him gone. Punish.
Masterfully executed.
And if it bleeds... And Dazzling Light stuns him out of the Protector status, and it worked. So we have to deal with just the bolt. And now the guarding is just getting meta. The guard is guarding the guard. Well, if it bleeds, can reach the Oracle, and there's a reason why I actually want to do that. Okay, he didn't use Sea Breeze. That's good. Because now I can use. Now I don't need Sniper Shot. I can use Bola, which will hit both bulwarks. And now I can punish the Oracle, so he's actually out of the fight. That's even better. That leaves just the one bulwark all by himself. And his stun resistance isn't elevated anymore. But he managed to resist. I mean, they have to manage to resist occasionally. May as well use this. It won't do much, but we'll use it. And if it bleeds, we'll do more than Wicked Hack because he has 75% protection. And now we need to wait for him to bleed to death. There he goes.
5 inches.
don't think there's holy water on the fish either. An aura of strength engulfs the hero. Increased healing received and damage until camp. I'm actually going to skip this room. There's nothing useful there. It would increase the amount of backtracking I have to do, and I'd have to use up a shovel. So I'm just going to go the other... I've already had bad experiences with shovels this episode, man. I can't handle it. So instead, I'm going to go back the other way. And respawning enemies, because of course there are. I suppose they can't let the backtracking be too boring. Start with Punish from 5 to 10. And Bola, there to crawl down a little bit more. I still need to do a little bit more damage, but Wicked Hack. And I could have just used Wicked Hack, but in my defense, I didn't know that critical was going to happen. Okay, let's see if we can dazzle the wide mouth out of the turn. That's good. Now we just have to deal with the Oracle, and he's in position 1, so there's not a lot he can do. In fact, I think the only attack he can use is Ceremonial Cut when he's in position 1. But it doesn't move him backwards, so there's no way... The Oracle has no way of falling back. And Cumin is just killing everything. Let's go for Judgment rather than Dazzling Light, and I need bigger damage. Oh no! The Oracle has just barely enough health to survive the damage over time. What are we going to do? Bola. Bola is what we're going to do. I'm not even picking up the blood at this point. There's no reason to collect
Triumphant pride precipitates a dizzying fall.
No one on in this operation has the Crimson Curse, and not only that, but because we killed the Countess, Crimson Court enemies no longer show up outside the courtyard. So they still are in the courtyard. I wonder what benefit... I assume if I go back to the courtyard, I can potentially collect, Crimson Court trinkets for other heroes. And then there's the risk of getting the Crimson Curse, but we can now treat the Crimson Curse in Sanitarium. And let the battles begin. We have another Crusher here, too. Well, against its 50% protection, with the Hellions' damage not being elevated, I'm going for if it bleeds, and it's going to stop. However, I can use Rain of Sorrows to weird out the enemy's backline while this goes on. Okay, all I need is for the move to fail, and it didn't. Wonderful. Okay, Arterial Pinch did fail to cause bleeding at least. Alright, let's just go for... I was going to move the vessel back one. I was going to go for Dazzling Light, but honestly, I think I need Gale to be in the background. And more importantly, I need the Flagellant to be in a position where he can use Rain of Sorrows, so moving him forward was worth it. And this is about to undo that, isn't it? It is, of course. Well, I may as well just reclaim that Gale's health is getting a bit low. And have Gale reposition. This just... Spearfishing has actually been the biggest threat so far. And even more shuffling, because there is always more shuffling. And Sea Breeze, because the oracles exist purely to annoy me. Okay, one more shot and the oracle is dead, as they all should be. You know what? Iron Swan, I'm tired of you healing things. Just stun the Crusher.
As the light gains purchase, spirits are lifted, and purpose is made clear.
And of course, now Spearfishing misses, when it could have been helped. Okay. If it bleeds, get rid of the wide mouth, just so he's gone and can't screw with my formation any further. And okay, at least the Flagellant can move long distances in a short time. Can leap tall team compositions in a single turn. Unfortunately, the Crusher continues to be a problem. Okay. with the
struck.
sniper shots. You are wearing it down, Roz. And I can finally hit it with Punish. And Punish reducing its bleed resistance is especially helpful. Healing. And yeah, let's just get this thing off of my screen.
Perhaps the turning point. Remind yourself that overconfidence is a slow and
Use
insidious
one of my
killer.
5 keys on the heirloom chest. And I may as well drop the anti-venom for the crests. It was never that likely that we would need it. Who has the best trap disarm chance? Let's see. Definitely not the flagellant. That's actually the Hellion has the best of this team has the best trap disarm chance. Maybe a bit of a walk before there's any more fighting.
If only treasure could staunch the flow of otherworldly corruption.
And stashed heirlooms. Nothing I'm willing to drop for that. Ah!
Curious is the trap maker's art. His efficacy unwitnessed by his own eyes.
And as long as we take the long way around, we should be done by the time we hit this room, actually. Sniper shot on the Countess. Unfortunately not a kill, but the Hellion will be able to fix that. A lot of bleeding this mission, like on both sides. I built a bleed-heavy composition, and then everything the enemy does is always about inflicting bleeding. Okay, that's that gone. And punish the stinger so that it too is gone. And I'm actually going for Dazzling Light as part of a larger plan. And unfortunately, the turn order decided to be weird, so he still gets an action. I was hoping I would prevent him from getting to do anything. Bandage and Bola. Bandage and Wicked Hat. There he goes.
A trifling victory. But a victory nonetheless.
Herbs. Oh, it removes a negative quirk. And of course, the one removed was Scattering, which does nothing on the Hellion. Because nothing good will ever happen, and if it seems like it's going to happen, it's actually a trap. This could be a bit of a challenge, but we learned last time. Let's just focus on getting rid of the Crusher. I suppose I don't have a quick and efficient way of doing that. The closest I can do is just inflict a lot of bleeding fast. Especially since I have the ability that inflicts a debuff that reduces bleed resistance. The stun. And we got the stun. You know, I kind of wish, sort of like, if an attack inflicts damage over time, when that, if you get a critical hit with that attack, the damage over time lasts longer. I kind of wish that if an attack inflicts stun, when you get a critical hit, the stun would be more likely. It would be kind of a nice touch to give you a benefit for getting critical hits with those. Get a shot on the one in the back. Take one more for him to be gone. So Rain of Sorrows might actually make up the difference. It inflicts a lot of bleeding. Okay, one of them is gone. And of course, we still have to deal with Arterial Pinch. Critical Arterial Pinch. And it did bleed too.
Concentration.
It bleeds.
The slow death. Unforeseen. Unforgiving.
Bleeds again. Bleeding for 14, and it has 24. So, just a little more damage. It's 1 point away from being done. Well,
The ground
sniper shot could
quakes.
fill in that point. And 9 more of them. Dazzle the Oracle. Okay, we took a fair amount of damage, but we managed to handle it.
This is how a life is taken.
Let's go for healing. Big healing. Well, big-ish healing. And
Seize this momentum. Push on to the task's end.
there's nothing really willing to drop for that. But I'm still going to open the heirloom chest in case. Honestly, you know what? I'll drop the medicinal herbs for the busts. Okay, probably just 1 more room and then we're done. And if I hadn't dropped the antivenom, I could use it to heal Corbett. But or could use that pawn to heal Corbett. But I can't. Oh, lovely. And we're surprised, too. Now we're close to being in formation. Right, Wicked Hack has a chance to kill. Unfortunately, luck is not on my side. Judgment won't finish the job, so let's just heal. And punish. Okay, that's at least 1 enemy gone right out of the gate. That's good. The fewer of them there are, the less chance they have to inflict damage on us.
Exposed to a killing blow.
And we can hack the one in the front. He's not as dead as I would like him to be. And Bola. Mainly because it allows me to get at least some damage on that Fusilier. And punish the Cutthroat just so that he's gone. Still have to do a blanket fire, and it gets worse every turn because the debuff reduces dodge. The alliteration was not intentional. Punish this one. And if, you know what? Wicked Hack on the same one. I can use sniper shots to get rid of the last one. Assuming it does enough damage. Which it does.
Success so clearly in view. Or
And
is
back
it
into
merely
formation.
a trick of the light?
And, for better or worse, it looks like this is going to be our last room. Or not. I guess I miscounted the number of rooms. We only get to skip... oh, right, I already skipped 1. That's why we don't get to skip 2 over here. Remembering things is not my strong suit. Now, you may ask, what is my strong suit? And in answer to that, I say,
Glittering
shut up.
gold, trinkets and baubles, paid for in blood.
I am fairly certain we do get to skip 2 rooms, though, so when I get to this empty room, we can leave. However, going straight back to the hamlet wouldn't be restful enough, so instead, who's for some camping?
A spark without kindling
Feast.
is a goal without hope.
To reduce the stress levels. Sanctuary to prevent nighttime ambush. And after that... I don't have Revel. Revel would actually be really useful right now. And use Chant on the Flagellant because he is religious. Okay, we're out of time units, but we won't have any more
The
midnight
match
surprises.
is struck. A
And now we
blazing
can go
star
home.
is born.
Got
We
some
will
decent
find
loot.
all manner of great
Got
and
some decent
terrible
gold.
things
Got a
in this
handful of
watery
heirlooms.
tomb.
How many we got? 36 crests. Nice. We got a pretty good heirloom haul. And 3 of the 4 heroes that went on this mission are champion level now. And 2 of them have diseases. See if anything interesting has happened while we were
Risk
gone.
and reward.
Rumor
A
of
siren's
riches.
call to the enterprising stalker.
So, just 2 level 0 bounty hunters. They're not really worth getting, honestly. I'm just gonna pass on those. Now... I need 10 busts, basically. To reduce treatment cost by the... To reduce the quirk treatment cost by as much as possible, so... Get 8 from there. I only needed 9, so I need 1. Trade away 3 crests. And I can max out my treatment library.
Experimental techniques and tonics can overcome things a sharpened sword cannot.
Right. Now let's treat the diseases. Thinking about something for my next mission. So, first, let's make sure everyone is as upgraded as they can be. At least for the abilities that are important. Alright, the high-level people are good, so let's start upgrading the low-level people. I believe they're also good. And I do actually want to hold on to a fair amount of gold because of a specific plan that I have. But first, let's see if any of these are... Nope, there are no trinkets for sale that are likely to be good because I am hoping to go after the darkest... Oh, I guess Tardif is still getting stress treatment. I'm actually hoping to go after the darkest dungeon. So, let's see. Bring Touche in position 1. And... bring Holland in position 2. Foliot in position 3. And Conter in position 4. I think I can make this team composition work, and I am just crazy enough to try it. So let's first unequip all trinkets and sort. So, get the Talisman of the Flame for the Vestal alongside the Tome of Holy Healing. The Osmond Chains, and then the Talisman of the Flame for the Abomination. Let's see something. What does Bulwark of Faith do? Marks, but buffs his protection. I may end up using that, but I'm not equipping it immediately. The Crusader gets the Glittering Spalders, but not the Signed Conscription, and he gets a Talisman of the Flame. And the Hellion is the one who doesn't get a Talisman of the Flame, instead getting the Lioness Warpaint and the Mark of the Outcast. This is completely insane and probably a bad idea, and I'm doing it anyway. Right, camping skills. What do we have for camping skills for this team? Sharpened Spear, Battle Trance, and Pep Talk. Those are the good ones for the Hellion. Zealous Vigil, Zealous Speech, and Stand Tall. And Wound Care. Right. Yeah, the camping skills are viable for this team. Alright, bring plenty of food. We can afford to bring a lot because there's no loot in this mission. No need for shovels either, just torches. Plenty of torches. And a lot of anti-venom and a lot of bandages. In fact, I'm maxing out both. Okay. Time for our second venture into the darkest dungeon. Let's see if I get away with this. And if I don't, we have 9,000 gold to launch another normal mission.
The thing has no name, for it needs no language. Nevertheless, those who would submit to its word this will are rewarded in a fashion. The creature's blessings are as repulsive as they are robust. Twisted, half-human monstrosities stalk the flesh-ridden halls, protecting their gestating god. Madness made flesh.
Okay.
It crawls steadily upward from the pit, supported by the lattice of cyclopean pillars.
Okay, this is not going to be easy. And they're opening up with Deathlash, because of course they're opening up with Deathlash. Alright. Wicked Hack would do 10 to 19. If it bleeds, it would do 7 to 13 plus a fairly robust amount of bleeding damage that's undermined by the enemy's 107% bleeding resistance. I'm just going for Wicked Hack. Each file, so will damage both of them. And because their blight resistance is actually not very good. Especially after being debuffed. We're probably going to use Deathlash again. Yep. Okay, and may as well dazzle one of the cultist priests to reduce the number of Deathlashes I have to deal with. The Rapturous Cultist is a problem, but I think I can outdamage its healing, especially if I'm hitting 2 targets at once and he can only heal one of them. File one more time. And if it bleeds on this one, because I can bleed. I actually managed to inflict bleeding with that. Okay. Judgment will kill either of the cultist priests, so I'll go for the one who isn't stunned. Wait, the one who is stunned is already not a threat, because he'll bleed out once while he's stunned, and then again when he isn't. And the Rapturous Cultist is stupid and decided to use Flesh Wall, which is meaningless. Okay. Smite the Malignant Growth. We still have to deal with it. And it is dangerous. Manacle the Malignant Growth. I will not be bound again. Oh. I was hoping the Cultist Priest would go before the Rapturous Cultist would. I hope wrong. Wait, he's still taking enough damage over time. That didn't save him. Well, now I just use If It Bleeds on the Rapturous Cultist.
Slowly.
And
gently.
We're actually going to finish this fight with relatively little trauma. I get some big healing on the Crusader. Yes, thank you, Conter. That is what I hope. That is what I mean when I talk about big healing. And I don't have Zealous Accusation, unfortunately, because I had to give it up for Holy Lance as part of a larger plan.
Blossoms.
And the Rapturous Cultist cannot attack, he can only heal or defend. So he's not a threat when he's all by himself. We need to wear him down. I mean, we have to outdamage his healing, but it's pretty hard to fail at that when everyone is focusing on him.
Obliterated.
Especially when the Hellion gets impatient. Okay, no loot, because there is never loot in this dungeon.
These nightmarish creatures can be felled. They can be beaten.
Are you sure? I mean, we managed to kill some of them, but
the promise of safety.
I'm not terribly optimistic. Fortunately, fortunately, the layout of the Darkest Dungeon is the same every time, and I remember the layout of this one, so this shouldn't be too crazy. Defensive Grand Guard. And unlike the cultists, the defensive growths actually do receive a stat buff when they guard something. Alright, let's have everyone concentrate on the priest in position 1 for... You know what? On second thought, let's not. Instead, since he's stunned... Actually, I should prioritize stunning these guys in general to mitigate the damage output. Especially since my abilities that stun don't do much less damage than the abilities that don't stun. However, the Vestal should focus on
a momentary abatement.
Let me see. Because you can't kill, but Stunning Blow would still do pretty respectable damage. Of course, it could also fail to stun. Ritual, it can heal. I didn't realize it could heal. I forgot that it had that. Okay, Manacle's the one without elevated stun strikes. It's perfect. Wicked Hack. Smite will probably be enough to kill this priest, but we need to deal with one more attack first. And it's a critical because, of course, it's a critical. Unfortunately, Contour has been targeted by the finger enough times she's just getting used to dodging it. And Smite.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
Fortunately, the defensive growths are very stupid and sometimes try to heal teammates that are at full health. Right. And Wicked Hack.
Their formation is broken. Maintain
and the Hellion is beginning to get impatient. Alright. Let's heal her back up. I know her being damaged increases her ability to cause damage, but even so. I don't want to risk letting too much damage accumulate this quickly. Alright, and now I can hit both of the other two with Beast's Bile because of where they're positioned. Which is good because everyone else now has to focus on the defensive growth.
A devastating blow.
Okay, that is the last we will see of the Cultist Priest, though, unless it could still use Ritualistic Restoration. That is a potential problem. It bleeds. It does not bleed. And Inspiring Cry. I need to keep stress levels down anyway.
In Radiance, may we find victory.
And Beast's Bile, because that will be both. Critical Beast's Bile. Also, it's blighted for 15. One more if it bleeds. Whether it bleeds or not, it still doesn't. And there we go.
By inches.
Okay, we're only through our second
Remind
fight
yourself
so
that
far, though.
overconfidence
This is going to be a bit of a
slow
challenge.
and insidious killer.
And more of these. Okay, I'm gonna go with Manacles or Beast's Bile. I'm gonna go with Beast's Bile. You know, the good news is, I haven't encountered any of the Ascendant Witches. They're actually... Them using Fate's Reveal would actually be a very serious problem, so not having to deal with that. How does the growth have dodge of 19? How does it have dodge at all? You know what, on second thought, I probably really don't want to know. Cure some bleeding. Attack wickedly. There's some more bleeding, and Foliot hack up something. Okay, 3/4 of the enemy team is blighted now. Unfortunately, flesh to flesh exists to continue creating problems for me.
Such a terrible assault cannot be left unanswered.
Flesh to flesh, maul the flesh. What's with you guys in your flesh? You know, that's also probably something I don't want to know.
Great is the weapon that cuts on its own.
Go for a bandage, but Smite on the Cultist priest will probably kill the Raptor's Cultist. Now let's Manacle him so he can't use the finger anymore, and it failed. Well, he can't use it if he's dead. But he isn't dead, because... I don't know. Because he didn't take enough... Because I rolled low. That's why. Okay, just keep... Contour, just keep trying to heal through all the damage. I realize it's a lot of damage, but it's all we've really got. Alright.
press this advantage. Give them no quarter.
Active growth. Whoa. Yep, the Hellions pissed off again. I mean, that's not really much of a change from the usual, but
is knit.
it is what it is. Alright, manacle. And there it goes. Another one bites the dust.
A trifling victory, but a victory nonetheless.
Oh, damn it. It was down, not right. I went the wrong way. And now we've gone significantly farther than we needed to in order to complete the mission. Good thing we brought plenty of food, at least. Because this is where the Templar is. Right, yeah, I went after the hardest one first. I couldn't remember specifically which ones were where. Okay, time to go all in right at the beginning. Transform. Their stun resistance is too high for the other abilities to be worth using, but now I can use Slam. And unfortunately, I used Revelation, and used Revelation on someone who's resistant to it. And I can use Wicked Hack. Okay, Stinger Shot missed. That is good. Stun resistance of 98%. 140% base stun chance. I'm going for it. And it failed.
As the light gains purchase, spirits are lifted, and purpose is made clear.
Oh, great. But now I can use Holy Lance. And I can keep doing this, alternating between Slam and Holy Lance. And someone's already at Death's Door. Well, for that, we have Anti-Venom, which won't actually restore hit points, but it will at least prevent him from taking further damage. Right. Going for If It Bleeds, so I can still hit the one in the back. Okay, need big healing on the Abomination. Thank you, thank you. That is, 20 is good. Okay, and Revelation, again on the wrong target. And another Revelation, still on the wrong target. Body Slam to get back. I didn't know they had that. I've never seen them use Body Slam before. But I guess that's their way of being shuffle resistant. And Holy Lance. And Slam. Just a little bit more and one of the Templars is gone. And Wicked Hack is perfectly happy to provide a little bit more.
Intrinsic merit, unless inordinate exsanguination.
Okay, that was the more durable one that's gone. Now all we have to deal with is the more fragile of the two Templars.
Exposed
Ow.
to a killing blow.
Unfortunately, the more fragile one still hits quite hard. Right. Sticking with Holy Lance. And I can't reach it with Slam. I could try to destroy the corpse with Slam. Honestly, I'm going to have him transform back. We don't need that firepower as much anymore. And I can use Manacles, which will even have a chance to stun. Unfortunately, it only had a chance to hit. And I'm actually going for Inspiring Cry on the Hellion, both because her stress level is dangerously high and because I need her off Death's Door. I'm really glad I got the Hellion off of Death's Door.
Set the stage for heroism or cowardice.
Big healing. Get some big anti-venom. And get some big Iron Swan damage. Okay, 18 is really more like medium-sized damage for that ability. 22 is a lot better. Anti-venom. This time heal everyone. Revelation didn't do much. Okay, Manacle him again. See if you can stun. Unfortunately, you cannot. And now he goes for Doomsday. Okay, Doomsday is not guaranteed to cause stress. And since the Crusader can't actually reach the boss, he uses Inspiring Cry on whoever has the most stress. And that's the Hellion by 1 point. Continue with the Anti-Venom and the Manacle.
The ground quakes.
Critical and a stun. Excellent. That means he can't use Revelation. And Iron Swan, hoping for the kill, and we got it.
Champion falls.
Okay. Okay, that's 1 down, and that's the hardest.
Seize this momentum. Push on to the task's end.
Alright. Now, we need to rest because the stress levels are unacceptably high. Rest.
A spark without
Feast.
kindling is a goal without hope.
Zealous Speech. Reduce everyone's current and future stress. Pray. Reduce everyone's stress and give them a protection boost. And... well, the Vestal's stress level does need to be looked into. I'm actually going to use Stand Tall to remove the mortality debuff. Okay. I believe that if I take the route that I kind of unintentionally cleared out, I'll have a shorter path to the group at the top, which I think is the easiest group. Assuming that the hallway battles don't respawn, which I think they don't in the Darkest Dungeon, because the thing is, in the Darkest Dungeon, nothing is random. Nothing about the layout, at least, is random. But okay, only 1 person is above 50 stress, and we have defeated the hardest of the 3 Templar fights. We may survive this mission. Congratulations, guys! Your chance of survival just rose above 0%. Okay, let's see if we can do this. And of course it goes for Grand Guard. Alright, you know, if it bleeds, we'll just get rid of the Raptor's cultist, almost certainly. Okay, that's one problem we don't have to do. Let's see if I can stun the Malignant Growth. I can!
The slow death.
Okay, that just leaves the Cultist Priest and the Malignant Growth to actually inflict damage. Now get some healing in. And smite the growth. Bolster, that's cool. What does that do? Accuracy and crit rate. Those are not things I want to see the enemy boosted with. Especially when the enemy has Death Lash. Again, Wicked Hack and Growth. Okay, 1 more hit on the Malignant Growth and it's gone. Can I kill it with Judgment? Maybe, but then I would have to give up healing the Hellion. And I don't want to risk that yet.
Sedated.
Maybe I should have gone for it, though. Especially since it managed to stun Holland. Yeah, I should have just killed it with Judgment. But, well, hindsight's 20/20 and all that. Bolster. That isn't particularly meaningful on the growth because it's unlikely that it will get it.
A decisive pummeling.
Wicked Hack on the
Continually onslaught.
Malignant Growth. That leaves just the Cultist Priest as the actual threat. Unfortunately, Death Lash is a bit of a threat. Alright. Big heal. Thank you. That was indeed a big heal. Alright, Smite. Okay, just a little more damage and we're rid of the priest. Or it could use Ritualistic Restoration and delay the process slightly. Alright, stun the priest. Thank you, that is exactly what I needed you to do, Counter. Use File. Alright, the priest is now going to die before he gets another turn, barring ritualistic restoration. If it bleeds on the defensive growth. And I now actually have some breathing room to do a little bit of healing. I'm gambling a little bit. Wait, no I'm not. The growth will die when it gets its first turn. So now we can all just heal ourselves for a little while. And everyone on this team has some kind of healing ability.
A momentary abatement.
Just take a moment to get some healing done before he finishes bleeding to death. Or, well, blighting to death, actually. And...
foolish horrors. Brought low and driven into the mud.
So there is loot. You can, and that if on the side passages you can find ancestral trinkets. And in this case, that's the ancestor's portrait, which anyone who watched the blind run will remember. Well, I can just show you what it does. It gives you plus 50% resolve experience. That's going to be helpful in training up new batches of heroes to confront the layers of the Darkest Dungeon. Though it's a bit less helpful when you get it this late. Okay, just this hallway and this room, and then we confront the Templars. So let's find out what's in here. Assuming there is anything. But it's likely that there will be something. We're running low on torches. I should have brought more torches. Ah, just growths. All growths, all the time. Alright, stun the one with healing abilities.
Masterfully executed.
Oh, they like the idea of stunning so much they've decided to do it to us. Wicked Hack on the one that still has an action left. And Dazzling Light on the same in the hopes of stunning it. We got it. Perfect. Can Smite finish it off? Not without a critical. And the 11% critical chance does not fill me with optimism. Fortunately, the defensive growths, as established, are very stupid. 2 of the 3 enemies are damaged, so what does it do? It heals the one malignant growth that hasn't taken any damage. It heals the one thing that doesn't need healing, and not only that, it gets a critical on the thing that doesn't need healing. Let's go to Beast Vial this time, so I can get both of them, and accomplish almost nothing. Stun the malignant growth so we don't take damage this time. Success! And since I have some breathing room, I'm using it to reduce the stress levels a little bit.
The match is struck. A blazing star is born.
And now it's decided to punish me for making fun of it by using Grand Guard. Well, one thing that isn't elevated by Grand Guard is your stun resistance. But your stun resistance being 98% is still kind of hard to overcome. But you can't use that protected from Beast Vial. So Beast Vial actually accomplished something this time. Going for Daze the Mind again, and this time it didn't even do anything. Alright, who has the most stress? The Vestal still has the most stress. And now it's going for Bolster instead. Though, when I don't really have the ability to do anything to damage the malignant growth, Bolster is still a problem. I may as well try to stun the defensive growth to prevent healing. Okay, Beast's Bile. That's not going to be enough to kill the malignant growth before it gets a turn, so we have to deal with it being bolstered for one turn. And I may as well use Adrenaline Rush and get some boosted damage next round, because there's nothing else that Touché can do. And it really does not like Holland. It just keeps trying to stun him every turn. And again, no point in doing anything else, so I may as well use Inspire and Cry. Need to keep the stress levels down. I can't count on someone being coming out virtuous after a resolve check. But there it goes. That's the end of this fight. Get some healing in. Get Adrenaline Rush in case we're critical. No such luck. But
be wary. Triumphant pride precipitates a dizzying fall.
this is the next pair of Templar. This is the next Templar, and this is just one Templar. It's backed up by Fleshhounds, but Fleshhounds are less dangerous than a Templar is. Fetch and Nash. Nash, I assume, causes bleeding. Maybe you can dazzle the Templar to prevent him from using Revelation. Nope, but he picks the wrong target anyway. Iron Swan that's whoa. Also, this is the more fragile version of the Templar. Okay, that ain't good. Do I even want to worry about transform this time? Honestly, I don't think I do.
And power.
Part of the reason why I brought the Osmond chains in addition to the, part of the reason why I brought the Osmond chains as one quirk other than the required one was because I figured since they boost range damage, they boost his damage when he isn't transformed. Okay, now we're in some trouble. Anti-venom and have the Vestal heal herself. Still reach with if it bleeds, but it might be better to just kill the Flesh Hound, but that'll take 2 turns. Yeah, Holy lands on the Flesh Hound, even though that throws the Hellion out of position just to get rid of the Flesh Hound. I kind of wish I had Strike Through all of a sudden. Forgot the enemy had movement abilities, but problem essentially solved. And yeah, I'm going for transfer. And I can reach the Templar with rage. I can't hit him with it, but I can reach him with it. The Hellion just heal herself. I mean, the Vestal just heal herself. Please don't critical.
Death
You had to critical, didn't you?
for the slightest lapse in concentration.
Okay, she isn't afflicted yet. We need to get some inspiring cries on the Vestal, though. And sticking with Rage. Rage does big damage. And Revelation does big stress, unfortunately. Iron Swan the Templar. Okay, we're almost rid of the Templar. Please get critical. Thank you, Conter. That was the moment I needed critical healing. You got it. Doomsay. Doomsay just does damage and blight. It doesn't do stress. The stress is the real problem right
The
now.
way is lit. The path is clear. We require
Rage.
only the strength to follow it.
Okay, that's the Templar dealt with. Now we just need to deal with the last Flesh Hound. This is an opportunity to get in a little bit of healing since we finally have some breathing. One more solid hit will get rid of the Flesh Hound. However, instead I'm actually reverting the Abomination to get some stress healing, and I'm going to have to use Absolution.
Passion is a rarity.
Because the Hellion can easily
Fever
finish off the
pitch
Flesh
of
Hound
battle.
herself. Or not. You know, I believe reinforcements aren't possible in this mission. So if I stun the Flesh Hound, I can spend an extra round getting some healing in.
A momentary abatement.
There we go. I'm not going to push it too much, but I may as well use stunning to get an opportunity for a little extra healing. Because the thing is,
As victories mount,
we still need to make
so
it a bit
too
farther
will
before we
resistance.
make camp. And unfortunately, because of the unusual route that we took. Okay, let's see. So assuming this place is let me think about which way to go this way. So assuming this place is perfectly symmetrical, then I could go here, over 1, down 1, and then to here, and then to here, and then down. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 to get to here. Versus, yeah, it's shorter if I just go the direct route back this way. I just have to go through one area that's unexplored. I'm not going for the other ancestral trinket. I didn't even intentionally go for the other one. It just became the shortest route to the Templar after I already made some mistakes. The goal is just to finish the mission, not to get any special loot or special rewards. And it's opening up a Grand Guard, because of course it is. Oh, you may as well manacle the one that isn't guarded. Let's start by just trying to eliminate the one cultist priest that we can right now. Because the thing is, we can actually damage race these guys pretty effectively. They're not actually that durable relative to how much damage we can cause because of a team of champions. And fortunately, it picked the right target for the finger. Well, the right from my perspective. And Holy Lance. And it... 1 damage short of the kill. Really. I'm finishing him off with Judgment. That way he's gone. And that was definitely the right choice because there was an admittedly small chance of it using Bolster on the... or using Ritualistic Restoration. Wicked Hack on the Defender. It won't do a lot, but it'll do something. And see if we can stun it out of the defended status. We can! Okay, now... Stunning Blow actually has a pretty good chance of getting the stun against the priest. Let's just go for that. Haha! Exactly what we needed. 1 round where they don't get to attack. Keep going after the priest until he's gone. Okay, the priest only has 15 hit points left. Let's reduce that a little further to increase the probability that this works. And there, he's gone to Wicked Hack. Alright, now for Inspiring Cry. I just have to fit little bits of stress healing in. Okay, it has increased stun resistance. 147, yeah, I can't act. It's literally impossible for me to stun it now. But just need to get little bits of stress healing in between other attacks. Oh, right, Unbearable Tremors. Which causes only stress. Well, its stun resistance is reverted. If it bleeds... And I may as well use Inspiring Cry, because you can't actually damage the enemy right now, Holland. And it goes for Unbearable Tremors again. Which I think isn't guaranteed to affect everyone. Okay, if it bleeds, there, it's finally gone. Yeah, maybe I should have focused on it earlier.
This expedition, at least,
okay, we only have to do with 1 room and 2 hallways to get to where we're going. But my last camp, I want to be as close to the last Templar as possible. Because I want to enter that fight as strong as we can. So now I have to deal with these assholes. Fortunately, much like the defensive growths, the Rapturous cultists are very stupid. Alright. Start with a stun. And fail. In that case, I'm going to go for Wicked Hack. I mean, 3 of these 4 heroes have some kind of stunning ability. That is certainly helpful. Use a bandage, and let's just smite the last cultist.
Well struck.
Okay, 1 cultist priest and 2 rapturous cultists. Not that bad of a group to have to deal with. Manacle whoever's guarding the cultist in the hopes of stunning. Yes! The guarded status is gone. Now, stun the cultist. Attempt to stun the cultist. Because I would have liked to have prevented Death Lash, but it missed anyway. And I'm going for Stunning Blow, because anything I can do that mitigates incoming damage and stress is good. Though health-wise, we're pretty okay. Stress-wise, we are not. The sanity of this team is hanging by a thread. Flesh to flesh only restores a little. It isn't a big deal. May as well go for the healing, because there's always the possibility of healing criticals, which removes stress. darn it, we're almost there. Just needed that to do a little bit more damage, and now he's guarded, and I don't have the ability to get around it this time. Only I had access to Bola like I had in the last mission. Well, I could stun. And it worked! Alright. Hack into the cultist database with your spear. And I may as well just heal everyone again. And while we're at it, let's throw in an inspiring cry. Like I said, I suspect reinforcements actually can't happen in this mission anyway. But this fight has gone on long enough, it's time for the last cultist to die.
Success so clearly in view. Or is it merely a trick of the light?
If I can, I want to make it to, if I can, I want to make it to the room right outside the Templar's door before we have to break out the log and the last of the food. I may pull that off. Okay, same as last time, opening up flesh walling one of them, which just encourages me to focus all of my attention on the other one. And hopefully cause him to stop being alive before he gets a chance to do anything. And we'll try to remove the guarded status anyway with Dazzling Light. And we have succeeded! So all we have to deal with is one Death Lash, basically. And it missed anyway. Alright. And of course the Cultist Priest surviving on a single hit, because of course he does. And his Death Lash managed to hit, too. Wonderful. Just wonderful.
Mortality clarified in a
okay, now it's Holland. Now the Crusader is the one with dangerously high stress. Alright, remove one of them now. See if we can manacle the other guy. Nope, see if we can dazzle him. I need to stall for time a little bit. And I didn't succeed at stalling for time. Wicked Hack, that's a start, but I think it'd be nice to have crit. Thank you. Okay, the cultist didn't target the Crusader again. That's good. If he had, we'd be in serious trouble. Some big healing on the Abomination. Flesh to flesh isn't really a problem because of how little health it restores. And because that's a turn of the cultist not attacking because I stunned him already. Inspiring Cry on whoever has the most health, that's the Crusader himself. I guess he's just shouting inspirational slogans at himself or something. Okay, that deals with the priest. Unless he uses flesh to flesh, which he did. And it healed him by just barely enough to allow him to survive. Well, Beast Spile will take care of that. There we go. We'll go for the healing counter. And a little more stress reduction. What's the risk here now is I've been managing the stress pretty effectively, but we're in danger of having the entire team go afflicted in this like a single round. Because everyone's stress levels are so close to each other and so high. That there's the risk of everyone being afflicted all at once. One more room, I think we can make it, and then I can light up the firewood. Yeah, no hallway battles, but it's likely there'll be a room battle here. Yep, and it's a tough one, too. Though no defensive growths, that is helpful. Right. Cultist priests have the most ability to inflict damage, and the most ability to inflict stress. Okay, that's an unfortunate flesh ball. However, between Wicked Hack and Smite, I can just get... Actually, between Wicked Hack and Judgment, I can just get rid of the Rapturous Cultist.
Fear.
Though removing the Rapturous Cultist doesn't really do us a lot of good because he's not really much of a damage source anyway. Alright, Judgment. Okay, that at least takes away their healing and their guarding. One more solid hit and we're done with that priest. Unfortunately, Manacles isn't capable of providing that hit, so instead I'll have him try to stun one of the other ones. The less opportunity the enemy has to attack, the better. Okay, that's one priest down and the other one's stunned. And Judgment would miss, wouldn't it? I suppose it's kind of hard to get Divine Intervention in here. Okay, we're almost rid of the second priest. He's the real threat. Stun the Malignant Growth, because Manacles won't do enough damage to kill the priest anyway. And instead I have to deal with both Daze the Mind and whatever the priest does. Or perhaps not. Thank you, Holland. Crusader is usually slow, but he managed to outspeed the priest somehow. Dazzle the Malignant Growth this turn, because he's going to have a couple of turns of life, I think. There we go. Okay, and in all probability, actually no, I know for certain, this is where the last Templar is. So light up the firewood.
Huddled
Feast.
together, furtive and vulnerable. Rats in a maze.
Zealous Speech. Stand tall to remove the mortality debuff. And I am actually, for the last one, I'm going to take a little bit of a risk with the stress and use Sharpened Spear, because I need the extra damage. That extra critical rate could potentially make a huge difference. Alright, moment of truth time. Unlike the last mission, we're going to try to finish this one with everybody on the team still alive. Let's see if we can do that. Yeah, now it's the Polyps and then the stronger Templar. So the first one is the weaker Templar and 2 minions, the second one is the stronger Templar and 2 minions, and the last one is both kinds of Templar. Transform. And slam. See if we can dazzle him out of using, okay, he won't use Revelation. Wicked Hack cannot one-shot, but if it were combined with Holy Lance, it could two-shot. Wait, that's not a good idea. I mean, I'm pretty sure he can resummon his minions. I may be misremembering, but oh, he will always use Revelation if he can. Stunning him prevents him from using his other ability. Slam this one. I believe they may have the ability to resummon their minions, though. So, if they can, then I should focus on killing the Templar. Otherwise, it might be smarter to kill the minions first because they are more fragile. Ooh. Though the Templar is looking pretty fragile himself, all things considered. And Holy Lance for another big damage. I mean, we've already taken away almost 2/3 of his health. And keep it up with Slam. Okay, they use Violent Hack, I have Wicked Hack. Whoa. And yeah, I'm really liking that elevated critical rate. All right, finish off the Templar with Judgment, and now we just need to clean up the Polyps. Holy Lance to get rid of one, and Slam. Okay, time to revert. I can't reach anything living with Slam, so let's just revert into Manacles. And we even got the completely unnecessary stun. Okay, if it bleeds... Alright, we may as well just heal up and de-stress while we wait for this thing to die. We got this! I'm as surprised as you are. And now we put up the last hand of glory. And we can return to the hamlet. I'm not pushing my luck, especially having actually found the ancestor's portrait, which could potentially be very useful later. 15,000 gold and 18 crests, and a martyr's seal, which could be very useful. And we got 3,100 gold back. We spent more than that on the mission, but we at least recouped some of the costs. And yes, Holland was actually not at Resolve level 5 when he went in. But he's leveled up, and he's not allowed to gamble anymore. And how appropriate, Holland receives increased stress heal.
The maniacal cultists are quelled for a time, but there can be no celebration. Your progress is measured only in progressive realization and dawning horror. You are in the shadow of the end.
But we did it. Completed the second Darkest Dungeon mission, which means we have 4 more heroes who can't go back there anymore, and 4 more spaces on the roster for new heroes. Which means it's going to be time to... soon it's going to be time to train up a new crop of fresh young faces to feed into the meat grinder. But with another stage of the Darkest Dungeon complete, that is going to be the end for this episode. Thank you all for watching. I love you all, and I will see you next time.